everybody. Welcome to another episode of TechCon. I really appreciate you for taking the time and effort to be here live and direct every single week. My name is Petra from Rugen, and today we're going to talk about an audio device. But before we do that, of course, like always, we check a little bit who is live, because this is live streamed on a Saturday. We have a bi-weekly show, roughly, throughout the year if it comes to the live shows, and at least one pre-recorded video every single month. So that is roughly what we're going to do in 2024. If I haven't seen you yet this year, of course, still the best wishes of 2024. Yes, I know it's a little bit late, but still, regardless, I'll do this one last time, even though it's always, I always will wish you the best wishes, obviously. Without further ado, let's check who's live during the stream. I did see also some people popping up before the stream. First and foremost, I see empty, was this raining, snow, a lot of music, which is really cool. I also see that Kierit is in the house from Stuttgart, but also he's also talking to MT, and I really appreciate you for doing that. And I really, this is where this community is good at, is talking to each other, learning from each other, and that's exactly what we want to do. Gerard, new year, new gear. I've got a Fomaco PTZ controller, great device. So let's delve into that one first, because I want to see what that is. Are you talking? Hey, where's my screen? Need to add my screen again. I think that I've messed up a little bit today, but that's okay. We'll fix it very, very soon. Boom. There you go. Not this, but that one. Let me see what we have here. Is this the one that you are referring to? This looks quite awesome. It has a nice big screen and a call store. It actually has a few function buttons, I see. Nice. And also some direct camera access, which I really, really like always. Camera 127, it seems. Looks quite interesting. Very, very nice. And yeah, also NDI supported, so Burdock, you can use that as well, it looks like, so that is awesome. All right, so that is the PTZ controller that we have right there. Let me see who's also in here. Oh, a lot of text from MT. I will go there very shortly. MT, I'm not skipping you. Back from a long trip to Japan, Eric says, and so happy to attend live this time. So awesome for you to be here, and I hope that you enjoyed Japan. I would love to go there one day, so absolutely fantastic. Like MT says, it's really far away. I guess you had a good time, and it looks like you had so much sightseeing. Yeah, I think that's it too. I hope that it was also related to work, or did you go there just for leisure? Let me know. Eric says, a good reminder for this year 2024. Have to keep reminding myself about what? About a cat. About the cat. We need to talk about a cat in just a bit. And MT says, I need almost 3 days to get rid of the 2023 in my mind. Yeah, that takes some time, of course. But MT did have some remarks, and let's just dive into those remarks first. MT says, sounds great. Have much fun to get it to work. At work, we have the PTZ Optics Superjoy, like I do myself as well. Even after almost a year, I'm not familiar with all the possibilities. Well, neither am I, but I do know that it does work with Burdock cameras, so I'm a happy camper. But you were also talking about the device of today. The CQ18T is really nice. I had a quick view on the specs and some stuff. To have a XRF18 and a Zoom L12, I think what I think I don't need that and another one. No, I can imagine that. That of course, that's not the intent of it, of course. Also, the Behringer Xenti 1222, the first one, and a little bit of an old one, it seems. Um, Eric says it was a family visit. My wife is Japanese. Last time I got to visit was pre-COVID, June 2019. Wow, that's a long, long period of time. Anywho, let's delve into it. Let's delve into the reason why we're here today, and that's to talk about my new mixer. It's a audio mixer, and it is by the Allen Heath. They are from the UK. That's just some information. Doesn't matter where they are coming from. But I do think that I do like them quite a lot. And I'm going to explain to you in just a bit why and where I come from, and how the unit compares to, for example, a really big one like the X32 and maybe also the X16 or X18, because they are related a little bit and it's a bit, awkward to say the least. But before I do that, let's just talk about where does the CQ range fit into the Allen Heath world. And in order to do that is let's go to their website. And here you go. You've got the CQ that's all the way at the bottom of the digital mixer. So it is definitely an entree model. So it's a small model for smaller, lighter gigs. On top of that, you've got the QU range. I do happen to have the QU16. Just going to show you a picture of it in just a bit. And on top of that, you've got the SQ, and those are really the compact mixers, the compact digital mixers that Allen Heath offers. And those are all ranges, right? So, for example, the QU range has about 5 different models. The SQ range has about 3 different models, and the CQ does have about 3 different models. So altogether, we're talking about quite a significant amount. Please be aware that the CQ is definitely not a replacement of the X32 that I have. Cannot be. It's not that big. It's also not capable of doing some really important stuff. Gonna talk about it, but it is more closely related to, for example, the X16, X18 by Behringer. They're really a little bit more on par if it comes to the possibilities that you have out of the box. Still, I think for me it's a better option, and let me explain to you why that is the case, because then all things will come back to a little bit to a more understanding, I believe. So, it's like Windows versus Mac. If you're a Mac user, you love Mac because you know how things look, you know where to find it. You basically are used to a certain ecosystem. If you're a Windows user, it's a different ecosystem. Is it better or worse? That doesn't matter. It's basically what are you able to work with. So, in my opinion, the X32 range is, for me, more difficult to understand, also more difficult to see what is happening on the device than, for example, on an Allen Heath system. And I have been around quite some Allen Heath systems. So for the X32, I know the X32 Compact, I know the X32 Rack together with the X Touch. Those are the ones that I know of the X32 range. Within the Allen Heath range, I now know the CQ. I personally also own the QU16. As a matter of fact, it's right here. And I also know the predecessor of the QU16, actually a bit of more of a flagship product, is the GLD80. And that one is actually the one that I started with. So that one is the one that they had at the local TV and radio station, and that's where I learned how to mix on the GLD80. The GLD80 had a offspring, as was the QU range, and the QU16 that I have, which is already 10 years old. And now the CQ. The QU16 is, even though it only has 16 channels, it's quite huge. How huge? Well, I have to look up a picture of people having the unit in their hand. This is how huge that mixer is, and it's definitely something that you just don't, easily just take along in your car, right? And that's basically where what I need to take into account, because as you might know, I don't have a big car, so I need to be as mobile as possible. And this is where this product that I have in front of me comes into play, because it's quite small. It's actually roughly the same size as a laptop, which is quite nice. So yes, I am used to the look and feel of Allen Heath mixers, and therefore I think they're better for me. That's where I come from. It's not. I'm not even talking about the quality. I will be talking about the quality in just a bit. I will be talking about some caveats of the model that are specific to this model. Before I do that, let's check if I have some questions or remarks, because I need you guys to be 100% with me, because I don't want you to buy something that you're not feeling comfortable with. So yeah, thanks MT for sending out the link to the CQ18. And Eric says, cool that you having such a long experience with the Allen Heath mixers. Yes, I think it's roughly now. Well, my previous Allen Heath mixer is now literally, well, actually, last week. Last week it was exactly 10 years old. So that gives you a bit of an example of how big it is, how long I've been using it. And before that, it was roughly 2 years or so. So I think that at this particular moment, we're talking about 12 years experience with the Allen Heath, and about 3 years with X32. So gives you a bit of an idea. I'm not moving away from the X32, just to clarify this a little bit, because there are still some use cases that I want to have at the moment. Though, that being said, I will not be surprised that I will sell the X32 in about a half a year from now or something. The QU16 maybe also, but that really depends on one major thing that I'm waiting for if it comes to what Allen Heath is bringing to the table. Because, of course, even though this is a great mixer, there are some small caveats that we need to talk about. And that's okay. But that's also looking at the the functionality. All right. Without further ado, let's just talk a little bit specifically about the CQ before we really go into the unit itself. So there are 3 different mixers that are in the CQ range, and these are the CQ12T, that's the light blue one right here, the CQ18T, and the CQ20B, where the 20B is something that I'll just remove from your memory, because I don't like it. Why? Because there are some things that I don't like about it. It's a stage box. It doesn't have any screen, which is by itself not a big deal. But there are some ways of rebooting the system and changing it from Ethernet to Wi-Fi, which are a little bit clumsy, if I may say it that way. So I really don't like it because of that. But the 12T and the 18T are, in my opinion, both really, really good mixers. So what are the differences between the two? Well, the 12T, as you can see right here, is roughly this. This is the unit itself. It has 10 inputs. It has 6 outputs. Well, sorry, it has 10 mono inputs. It has 1 combo stereo input, hence the 12. Then it has 6 aux outputs, and then of course the main left and right. And as you can see, it's just nice and a small unit, as you can see right here. And then you've got the 18T, and it does gain some more functionality. It has not 10 but 16 inputs. The outputs are exactly the same. It does come with Wi-Fi built in, and it also comes with those rotary knobs on the left-hand side that are very, very interesting to say the least. But that's not really necessary to utilize if you don't want that. So please be aware of that. Today I'm going to switch. I'm going to just in just a bit going to switch on the units, and we're going to do a walkthrough. I will make certain to say when you see something that it's not on the 12T, because the 12T and the 18T, in my opinion, are both actually really, really good. And I will be focusing as much as possible on 12T and 18T combined functionalities today, and maybe just talk a little bit about the 18T's functionalities, but they're not that special, though I do like the possibility of what I'm having in front of me right now. So without further ado, let's just go into the real mixer, and boom, there you have it. This is the real mixer right here. This is everything. These are my hands compared to them, and you can actually see it's not that big. This is the side of it. It's quite a nice design. This is the back of it. Very a lot of ventilation. There's also a fan on the bottom, and it has a remote power brick that you see right here. So this is the power brick that I've had in front of me right there, and this is what the system looks like. Let's just walk through the system before we're gonna switch it on, so that we get everything out of the way. So here we go. We've got 1 to 8 standard XLR inputs. So just standard XLR inputs. 9 till 16 are also inputs, but then combo either jack or XLR. So this system out of the box gives you a functionality without any converters of having the possibility to add up to 8 jacks and up to 16 XLR inputs, which is fantastic. It also has a stereo input that you can see right here. Hence, the 16 plus 2 is 18T right there. And I think that the T stands for tabletop. That's what I think what it's coming from. And then you see 1, 2, 4, 6 aux outputs. So that gives you a lot of functionality with regard to providing mono mixes to people that are playing, for example. You can also have every different audio mix a little bit slightly different. You can do that. You can actually also utilize a CQ for you app on the phone, so that they can actually say, oh, I want to have more bass, I want to have more vocal. You can do that right here with this auxiliary. Then you've got the main left and right for example, your speaker system. And then you see a few data-driven functionalities. So we have a SD card right here, which I already have put in. This allows me to have a multi-track recording. So that's really cool because that allows for a lot of functionality. You've got an Ethernet port right here. You've got let's get it off, a USB B port to connect with your computer. You can do multi track streams to a DAW, for example. You can also connect it fully to a DAW if you like. So that is really cool. And then here you got one more, and that is a USB port that I have right here, a small one. Also there you go, a small SanDisk unit right there. So that is the part, and this provides the possibility to record stereo locally. It does allow you to record scenes, and those are, let's say, presets ish. Then you have the possibility to utilize this one for stereo output to your computer. This one is stereo or multi-track. This is an Ethernet port, and this is a multi-track recording on the device itself, which is fantastic. Then next to that, you'll see a antenna right here. You can just put it up like so. And this is your Wi-Fi antenna, and that allows you to directly connect with your iPad or your Android device or your Windows laptop or your MacBook, and connect with the CQ Mix app, and then you can see exactly the same look and feel as you have on the screen in just a bit. Then on the right hand side, you see soft buttons, and these soft buttons give you the possibility to either start a recording, stop a recording, or maybe you want to do a tap tempo for an echo, for example, like doom, 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 doom. and then it becomes that's a tap echo. You can also mute a group of inputs, for example. So this is something that you can utilize how you like it. Then below here, this is the main knob that you can use for everything that you select on the screen. You can change it with this dial right there. And here you see what they call rotaries, and these rotaries are either pre-compiled by you, so you can say, hey, I want to have a volume on this knob, or I want to have volume on this knob. But you can also use this as a smart rotary, and that means that depending on which screen that you are on the device, it will automatically act differently, but it will show that it's acting differently by a light that it has in the knob itself. Then below you have a group of pages that you can use, and this is actually how you also use it, is that once you are logged in, you first want to configure everything that is on top. Then you want to start the processing, you want to give echoes, or you want to do a nice equalizer setup. Then the fader is the most important one. That's where you live when you're live. Then you've got FX, which you also use when you're live, and the home button is really a home button that you use only at the start of the unit. So that is what it looks like. Let's switch it on like so. And I did put a default unit in there. So this is what it looks like when you switch it on. It states CQ, and boom, there you have it. And now I'm going to go back to the screen, and in the meantime, I'm going to make sure that the picture is a little bit better than you see right now, because I want to zoom it a little bit in so that we can focus a little bit more on the screen. So that is what I'm doing right now. Just wanted to make sure that you don't see too much other stuff than you need. Now I'm gonna put it back to the screen. Oh, this is readable. Perfect. Maybe a little bit to the other side. Let me just go that way and zoom out a little bit. There you go. All right, I think that this is something that you can read. Perfect. All right. Let's check if there are some questions before I continue, and make sure that everybody who's here can say hi. MT says, will this device work with Companion? I could not find something. No, at the moment, no, it will not. The reasoning behind it is indeed because it's new. Basically, nobody has had the time to use it and work with it. That's one. And the second thing is that because of the firmware that it has at the moment, it's literally a second dotted version of version 1. So it's really not 100% future proof yet. So on that particular instance, I would say no, it's not yet. But I can also tell you that a lot of people that have provided some feedback to Allen Heath, where they said that they really liked the design of the unit. For AV installations, and for AV installations, you do need to open up the APIs, so to speak. And once they do that, and they will do that for sure, then Companion will come. And I also have been talking to not only Companion, but also Central Control to hopefully get this one also connected. But it will most likely come, but not at this particular moment. Hello, Veal, how are you? And also, I see DJ Ware is in the house. Welcome, welcome. And Neil says, is it a touchscreen? Yes, it is a touchscreen. So let's delve into the software part of it. There you go. So this is how it looks and feels for me. I just zoomed in a little bit, so that you can actually read the screen a little bit more. Yeah. So let's go ahead and check it out. You start with the home button. That's the starting point. What do you see on the home button? Well, you see a few things. You can safely turn off the unit by clicking here, and then it says maybe I can wait a second. See that it's not yet fully in focus. Boom. There you go. All right. Shutdown in the mixer. Continue. No, not today. So that's something that you can do. Now you can also switch it off immediately. Though I do think that this is a additional check to make sure that everything's fine. It does come with not one but two headphone jackets, so you can change one, the first one or the second one by just pressing and changing it on this dial right here. As you notice, this is yellow and this is also yellow. On this home screen, you can also click Quick Start, and Quick Start is really cool because it will help you to set up the first thing. So, for example, do you want to have like a country band or a rock band? Then you just hit rock and then you say recall, and then it will automatically set up the whole mixer for a rock band. For me, for example, I would most likely go for conference in most cases and just hit recall. This will override everything. That's fine. Boom. Now it's all overwritten, and how can I see that? Well, if I go to the config, it's all put to vocals. I can see that because it's purple at the moment. And if I go into processing, you see that all of the channels are now basically expecting to have a microphone as an input. That's basically what it did. That's the only thing that it did. If I go back to home and I just hit quick start and I say, no, I want to have a rock band, I can hit recall and I say yes. It will automatically change it again. If I go to processing, then I have, for example, a drums like a kick, a snare, a hi-hat, toms. If I go to this one, I have a rhythm guitar, a lead guitar. I have 3 vocals. So as you can see, there's just by changing only one thing, it totally changes everything, which is fantastic. Let's go back. Let's go back to quick start and say all complete. Recall. Yes. Now everything is back to a standardized situation, because if I now go to the processing, you'll see a full-on setup. So now I can see the gain, the parametric EQ, the what is it, the compressor, and etc. You can see a lot of different things right here. But I personally would like to go with, depending on what you're going to do, right? So, for example, what I typically will see in most of the cases is that I will have, for example, 2 left and right. So somebody else will do the main mix. So I'll just hit this one right here and say, okay, this is a, well, how to say this? This is front of house left, apply, and then it states here front of house left. But I actually want to have a different color now. For example, blue. And then I hit and then do this. Then front of house left is this one right there. Then I'll do this one. This time I'll do it with caps because I like that a little bit better. Front of house right. Also blue, of course. And then you've got those 2 combined. I can also make that one stereo functionality by just hitting here, link the 2 stereo. Now it acts as one single unit for front of house. It does take the name of the left one, so this is actually not front of house left right. It's left, but it's left or right. So that's one thing that you can do. Then I will have, for example, an ambience one, ambi left. I'll just make that purple because why not? And also here I want to have a front of house. No. Ambience. Right. Apply. Oh, forgot to the color. Purple. There you go. So that's basically what I can do in the inputs. And those inputs, they look exactly like what you see right there, right? So you can actually see it's exactly the same setup as you want. I can also have multiple at the same time. For example, if I want to change all of these at the same time, I can do that like so as well. I'll not do that now, but you can see that it's quite easy to utilize right here. I can also say, wait a second, for that ambience left and right, I want to use a quick channel, as it's called, and a quick channel is a predefined. Well, it's a like a smart channel. It based on knowledge of a lot of audio engineers that Allen Heath have been working with. They provide insights in how to make it easier for yourself. So the only thing that I can do here is I can hit vocals, I can hit recall, and now this is a quick channel, and I can do this one the same way. Whoop, wrong me. Vocals, recall, and then if I go back to the processing page, you'll see that I have front of house, left and right, and you have both of those ones for the ambience. Now, of course, it's now states Vox, which I don't like, so I'm going to change this one to ambience. Ambience left, apply. Oh, this is right, sorry. Right, apply, ambience left. Apply. Perfect. That's what we want to see, and it's also reflected in this processing page right here. So that's brilliant. And this is typically what I would definitely have typically as inputs in a small gig. Typically, the front of house is mixing it for me. Of course, because I am not able to really mix over here and switch the show at the same time. So I love that I can get that one out. But why do I need this mixer then? Well, actually because of those ambience. So I'm actually having these boom mics by Rode to utilize those to also, beside the front of house, also have people that are clapping on the stream or on the live show, so that it gives a little bit more of an idea that you're there. And because last time, about 4 months ago or something, I had a fantastic stream or a fantastic live production. The audio is great, but if the audience was doing something, I could not pick it up. And that's a bit of a bummer. So this is one of the reasons why I had this unit. Next to inputs, we also have... Oh, by the way, you can also, of course, say that this is a phantom-powered microphone. I can just switch it on by just holding it, switching it off. I can set the gain like so. But let's do it a little bit differently. So I'll just put in the microphone that I just showed you. And I will be using this one a little bit for a... So I've put it into channel 3, as you can see right here. And let's get that started. So this is a microphone that is actually phantom powered. So I have to hold this one right here. Make sure it's switched on. It does state it is phantom powered. And I also see that something is coming in. So if I then add a gain, I can just do that. I can bring it all the way up. And of course, it is way too hot. But now let's do it a little bit differently. Let's remove everything here. And let's just say auto set. So now if I'm just talking, it will go up. It will go up all by itself. And it will try to figure out what is the best situation. Now it has a good idea. It's 19 dB. I hit OK. And I'm also hitting the auto gain is on. So I can just still talk and just, talk to as much as we can. But I can also shout a little bit. So very loud and loud. Yeah. It's really loud. And now it automatically went back to 16 dB. So it's all fully automatic, which I love by this system. So it's really something that is set and forget, which I really, really love. So without further ado, let's just remove this microphone and change this one down. auto gain off, and let's remove this a little bit. That's one of the things that I really like about this mixer, is that I can have all of it on the auto gain functionality, and that will help me to make sure that everything is fine. Really, really nice that that's possible. Then if I go to processing, then of course on the left hand side you see a stereo mix. I can hear on my headphone only the front of house without the ambience if I like. I can hear only one of these if I like. That is also possible. And what is really cool is that if I go into this microphone right here, I just have to press this, boom, and then it comes into a really nice implementation of effects. And that is, it makes it so unbelievably simple to set this thing up without even having all of the knowledge as an audio engineer has, because it's literally just pressing this dial right here, make sure it's activated, and say, oh, what is actually sounding better? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Hey, I like the broadcast one. This is perfect. Oh, let's put on the compressor. Boom, compressor is on. Oh, I hear something in the midst. Let's just make it a little bit less. Perfect. That's it. We're done. That is something that X32 does not do that fast. So I really like that it does that. And did I do something? Yes, I actually did something. And the way that I can show it to you is that I can actually convert this from what it is now, a quick channel, to a regular channel or a complete channel by just making sure that this is connected. Go to the hamburger menu and say convert. And if I hit convert, I can actually convert it back to a regular channel. And hey, what happened here? I actually did something here. Look, this is my EQ. I actually changed this in just that minute, just by changing and saying, hey, what does sound better? Well, this sounds better. Oh, wait a second. I don't really like this one right here. Let me just change that a little bit. Maybe I have to go a little bit to the left. Maybe I have to go a little bit higher, and maybe I have to go a little bit wider. This, what I'm doing right now, is something that you can only do on the 18 because of this rotary. But of course, you can also just use the your finger, change that here, and also change the by using this, right? So you can still do it without these buttons, but they are really handy. As you can see, it's now purple. If I press the blue one, it becomes blue. So I now know that I'm actually changing the blue one right here because of the there you go, right there, boom, and then change it like so. Really handy. I can also switch on the RTA, which provides me real-time information on in like a dotted line what is coming into the system, so that I can maybe change it a little bit more depending on what I see. I'm switching it off at the moment, and that's it. Really beautiful. I added a compression, you saw that, so that's the reason why this is switched on. And if I don't like it, I can maybe change the attack a little bit, make it a little bit less, maybe the release a little bit more, and I can change the ratio a little bit, maybe like a 2 to 1. And I actually want to have a hard knee. Perfect. That's what I want. Perfect. And if I want to go to the gate, I can also change the gate if I like. And of course I can change the gain, and I also have here the high pass filter, which I'm going to switch off at the moment, right there. So that is how easy it is to use that. And of course this is something what you also have on the front of house, though this one is then a stereo mix, so it has a little bit of a different feel to it, but it's not totally different, as you can see right there. So there's a lot of functionalities that you have in this small system. You have more than 8 inputs, of course. You see that input 1 and 2 are combined into 1. So this is 3, 4, 5, and until 8. If you want to go to 9 to 16, you can just press it here, and you can go to 9 to 16. There is also, of course, the stereo in that is on top of the unit that you just saw. You can also bring in USB audio, and also you can set up a Bluetooth with your phone, for example, if you want to have some waiting music, for example. And of course, you also have some effects, which we'll be talking about in just a bit. And last but not least, there are some outputs that we're also going to talk about in just a bit. Please note that these colors are different. So this one is now, well, it is red on my system. So this is red. That's corresponding with this button right there. So I know that I'm changing it. This part right here. This one is purple, which means that it actually is changing this one right here, which is a pan. So I can pan it to the left, pan it to the right, however I like. And this is also green, and the green is about the send right here. So I can actually send it to the first unit if I would like to. So that is basically how those smart dials work. Yep. Let me see if there are some questions in the meantime. Neil says, tech on a purple. Nice. Yes, absolutely. So yes, and indeed it is a touchscreen as you've seen in just a bit. It looks like you can save the config on the USB stick, and in case you need it, you can reload it. Definitely, and I can show it to you. Let me check that for myself a little bit very quickly. Did I remove it? I can show it to you. All right. I will show it to you. Good idea with those ambience mics, as most of the front of house doesn't mix the ambience. Absolutely. And they should not do that either. So that's only good. Good point for folks who don't regularly go do live events venue types of, yeah, indeed. On our XAir 18, we use the auto gain for meetings when all 16 inputs are in use. We're going to talk about that later, MT. We have also something similar. I love some parametric EQ. This is a great display for the EQ. Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Very quick adjustments like that. Yeah, it's really fast. And there are multiple things that still I need to talk about. Q for the EQ is it possible to overlay the audio signal? Yes, you can. That is the RTA functionality that I just showed you, though I don't have audio coming into the mixer at the moment. And I guess the mixer could also replay music from the USB or SD card, right? Yes, recording will happen on the SD card. Also, not yes, it can be both. You can record both to USB A or USB B. That's an OR statement, so that's USB B or USB A, but SD at the same time. So you have always two locations where you can save at the same time. For in-ear use, yes, I'll talk about that. I'll definitely talk about that one. All right, so let's go back. So I didn't change anything. We were actually here in just a bit. Okay, so that is basically what I typically do. So front of house, left, right, and ambience, left, right. That doesn't mean that I'm not I see an error. Let me change that a little bit quickly. That's this part. I didn't talk about the audio output parts, because this is where I also think that this unit actually shines. And that is that I do want to, if I am at a venue in a separate room, I want to utilize my real Genelec speakers to listen to the main mix. And that's where this one comes into play, the main left, right. And this is the way that I like it. There's nothing here what I want to change. So basically nothing is going to change here at all. This is brilliant. But out 1 and 2 will change. So out 1 and 2 is, again, these two right here. Again, you can see that this is the same setup as you can see here on the screen. So I want to change that basically to my ATEM. So ATEM, apply, and I want to combine them. Boom. So ATEM left right. Now I do have an ATEM left right that I can utilize, and very important, because there's no way of listening. Well, there is a way to listen to it if you like. So you can go here on the A headphone and then say that on the headphone A I want to not listen to the end result, but I only want to listen to the ATEM mix. That's possible. Though I don't like to do that this way. What I want to do is actually to say you will follow the fader. So I'll just press post fader right there. So it will automatically, whenever I move the fader for my speaker mix, it will be also the same for the ATEM mix. That is very important to me. Then what I also will use this output for in most of the time is that an output 6, I will have an in-ear. So I will have an in-ear system available to somebody that I can talk to. This is basically how I will set up the units from inputs and outputs. We also have the possibility to talk about USB and SD cards. So this is also post preamps. So post preamp says as soon as it becomes digital, then do nothing with it and just get it as raw as possible to the SD card, which I like. So that's what I want to hear. I can choose either to 48 kilohertz sampling rate or 96 kilohertz. I'm going to go for 96 kilohertz. And I can go for stereo or multi-track. And I will go for multi-track on the SD card. If I'm using the USB to talk to a computer, then know that 23 and 24, so the channel 23 and 24 are the main left-right. You can set that up so that if you use this with vMix or with OBS, you know which channel you need to have. If you can only have 2 channels, you can just change that. So you can just change it to whatever you like. That's possible. You can also add it to a Bluetooth device. I'm not going to do that now today, but you can play a song on Spotify as a waiting device. Honestly, this part is a little bit buggy still, so I can show it to you. It does work, but it is a little bit of hit and miss the first few seconds. Once it has the connection going, it will not change. But this part needs a little bit more love from Allen Heath, in my opinion. Then we've got automatic mic mixer. So this is where this product also shines, is that you are now able to say, hey, channels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are actually channels that I want the system to. Channels 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are microphone channels, and I want the system to follow by itself who is talking. But channel 3 in this case is a little bit more important because it is the main speaker. So I'll give him a little bit more of an emphasis. If that person is speaking, it will automatically go there faster. This is all I have to do. From now on, the system will automatically change whoever's talking and make sure that people that are not talking, that the microphone levels are going down so that you don't hear other sounds that you don't want. But if channel 3 has more to say, then it will automatically go there from the get-go. Let's just remove it quickly, make sure that everything is back to normal, and boom, out. Then here you have the controls and networks, and this is where you can add a foot switch. The foot switch can be used for tap tempo, for example, but also for other things like AM channel on and off, or you want to listen to something, you want to mute something, you want to play a record, you want to go to another scene in the system. there's a plethora of different functions that you have right here at your disposal if you have a foot switch. I don't, but it can. The rotaries, same thing. You can change all of the rotaries if you like. I can switch it off and then I can change whatever I want it to do. Adding a compressor, adding the gate, whatever I want. Though I do like the smart rotaries, so I'm not going to change it. For the soft keys, same thing goes. I actually have nothing set at the moment, but I can imagine that I will be using it for recording purposes. So I want to have the multi-track play record, and I want to have it record or stop. And the same thing goes for this one, the function, the second one. Yeah, the second one, I want to go to the stereo mix. And I want to have a stereo record, and I want to also record and stop, period. And now you see that these two are actually turning blue, and you can actually use them to play and to start to play or stop playing audio. So that's all in configuration, and let's go back to the home button right here, because the home button can also be used for recording purposes. So here you can stop and press record for the stereo recording, but you can also have a stereo playback, obviously, so you can just play some songs if you'd like. And here you also have the possibility to add a multi-track. And for example, you don't need all 16 tracks, so you can just remove the ones that you don't need. For example, I only need the first 8. Okay, just wait, this one has to. So now only the first 8 will be played. If you already have a track on the drive, you can just select it here and hit select, and boom, you then can just play it if you like, so that you have a multi-track recording. And what you can do with that is actually, for example, if you are recording something, but something is wrong, yeah, you need to fix it, then you can also then say in the configuration that, for example, this one right here should not go from the input that I have on the device, but directly from the SD card. So you can do that as well. Right there. You can actually create scenes up to, I think, 100 or something. Let me check how much. About 100, I think. Yeah, 100 scenes. This is where you can, well, this is a show that I've prepared already. So this coming Friday, I am actually going to the theater, the States Theater in Dutch. And then I say just recall, boom. And then if I go back, you will see that the front of house have moved. The ambience are actually changed as well. And if I then go to processing, there are some things that have been changing, and you have to be a little bit, it's not that clear, but the front of house is a little bit more panned than for, the ambience are a little bit more panned left and right than the front of house, for example. So that is something that I already have prepared up front as the standard. But for the rest, if I go back to the configuration and to the output, you'll see that the ATEM switcher is added here, and this one I didn't change, but oh well. And the post fader was also put into that one as well. Yeah. Libraries, I have not used yet, but the libraries is really if there's a specific equalizer set up for a Shure microphone or a Rhodes NTG microphone, you can just select it here, say boom, I want to have a Rode NTG microphone, and then just hit recall, and then it will automatically give you the correct equalizer settings for that particular microphone, which is very handy. And then last but not least, this is the system. I'm running 1.1.1, which is give you a little bit of an idea that it's not the most the very mature product yet. It's very new. It has been around since October of last year. I can here format the USB drive or the SD drive. I can hit here the firmware update. I can just put in the USB drive right here, then update the firmware, but that is not strictly needed. You can also do the firmware update via an iPad or a Google device or your Windows or Mac computer by using the CQ Mix app. So you don't have to do this on the device itself, which I like. Some coloring the changes that you cannot really see it here, but you can. The first one is orange, then yellow, then green, and there are some preferences here of the brightness. Oh, maybe I can do that. Wait, maybe I can set the brightness a little bit of the screen by changing that here a little bit. And let's see if this is then better to read. Oh, there you go. So here you can see the differences between the units. And change it back a little bit. There you go. Those are those. Then we've got the effects. The CQ18 has 4 banks for effects. The CQ12 only has 2. Though I personally do not use effects that much. Or I am mixing a band. Though I do think that even though that is possible on this unit, I would rather have physical faders. So I will most likely go to the QU16 if I have to mix a band. But it is possible to mix a band also on this unit, and you can also send effects to, for example, the front of house like this. So this effect unit 1, the easy verb, will now be sent to the front of house left. That's how easy it is. It's literally that easy. And if you want to change it, you can also go to the so this is the easy verb. I want to change it to, for example, something else like a flanger. I can change that. I can hit recall, and now it becomes a flanger. And in the flanger, you also have some possibilities. You can just use a few dials to make sure that everything feels great. And do I want to change this? Yes. This was the easy verb. Boom, we're back. And there's also an FX assist. So we had gain assist in just a bit. Now we have the FX assist. And what this does is that it's, even though you're changing a lot of things here, the FX assist will check the audio and make sure that it doesn't come all mushy, and it will change it a little bit to make it more nice. Even though you've changed it, it will change the overall so it's sound, so that it sounds more crisp. So it's really helping you out. So that's a assist that you have right there. So that was the second assist that the system has. Another assistant that it has, well, you also had the quick channel, which is actually also an assistant, of course. And another one that it has is with regard to the outputs. So let's go back to processing, and let's talk about the send button. So you can actually send the audio to, for example, your ATEM switcher or to other outputs. You can do that here. You can also add the effect again right here if you'd like. So that is really cool. And this is the way that you can change it very easily according to what you like or not. There's also, on the output side of things, there's also a parameter, a PEQ. I'm not going to say that again. So that's a possibility that you have, but it also has a feedback assist, which means that if you have wedges or speakers and you're on the stage talking and you have that ringing, you can ring it out fully automatically. So you can just keep this one up and it will automatically see where the audio is coming from, and it will change it automatically for you. So it will say, here is a possibility. It will just remove that frequency from your delay. You have a lot of different ones. You have up to 16 of these possibilities to change the frequency, and it will do that automatically for you if you enable this feature right here. So that is output, input, and of course you have the faders themselves. You can, of course, on the left and right, you can set the color of a fader. You can also change multiple faders at the same time if you like. Of course, that's not happening at the moment, but you should be able to. There you go. And what is really cool about it, it doesn't matter where you put it. You can also do it like here. And this is fast changes, and the more you are here, you can make it more precise. So now you can really make it very precise if you like. Of course, it's not a physical fader, absolutely not. But I am not expecting that I'm going to change those faders quite often, so it's good enough for me. Of course, you can also here click to send to and say I want to send something to the ATEM. I can now go to the ATEM and say, oh, this one should be also on 00. So now I am actually looking into a different way of checking what the ATEM is getting compared to the main left and right, which is totally different, as you can see. So main left and right is like so, and the ATEM looks like this. If you think that this is too much, because now you can also mute the buttons right here. You can also listen in to the different channels, like so. But if you think that it's a little bit too much, you can also hit faders only, and then it becomes really easy to really focus on the faders themselves and nothing else but the faders. So that makes life a little bit easier for you and for me as well. Come to think of it, I did forget that you are able to also, where is it? Go to the configuration and the network. You can also create a network Wi-Fi so that you control the system on your iPad. Please go to 5 gigahertz and hit apply. Now, this Wi-Fi will provide you this name, and you can also hide it, but personally I don't care for it that much, so this is way better. Of course, you can also utilize WPA2 security, and you can set a password. By the way, the default password is default password, hint hint, but that's okay. right there. So as you can see, it's really, in my opinion, very logical. From left to right, you first go to your home button, you change some generic system possibilities. Then you go to configuration to configure your inputs and your outputs and maybe your SD cards, etc. And then you go to processing and you just change whatever you like. What you need to change your PEQ, for example, you can change it like so. Boom, 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 boom. And then maybe you want to change that right there. You want to make that a little bit bigger. You want to make this a little smaller. And go a little bit to the right, like so. Perfect, I like it. But now I want to copy this. Is that also possible, Petra? Yes, you can. You can go here, you can hit copy, copy PEQ, and you can go here. Oh, wait. Let's do it differently. Wait a sec. Let's do it the way that I want to do it. Let's do it this way. I want to do a copy. What do I want to copy? Do I want to copy all the processing, or only the high-pass filter, or only the gate, or only the PEQ, or only the compression? I want to copy the PEQ. And I want to paste it here, here, and here. Boom. So now it changed all of it. And so it doesn't matter if you're here or there, you have the same PEQ setup right there. That's really handy. You can also hit quick fire and then you can change whatever you like. You can mute easy. You can verify if the compression is doing something just by clicking it like so. Same thing here as well, gate in or gate out. And so this helps you to really quickly see if everything is going well. Oh, let's remove the PEQ. Sounds good, or it doesn't sound good. Let's do it like this. Of course, you can also reset it. So if you go here and you don't like this PEQ anymore, you can just hit this one and say reset. Boom. Resetting. Boom. Done. Reset it. If now go back, this one is resetted. Of course, these all of the other ones are not yet changed, so then you need to copy it again, basically. Am I forgetting something? Let me check, because this is library I already talked about. Talked about the outputs channels. I did talk about the Bluetooth, USB. Yeah, I think that this is roughly it. Let me see if there are some questions or remarks. A lot of people are chiming in, which is great. DJ, where is it possible to... Wait a sec. Something is going on. Why am I not seeing that? Is it possible to overlay the audio signal for us in-ear people? Yes, you can. Yes. So in the PEQ, you can actually hit RTA on, and then you'll see the audio popping up when you talk. So then there's just like a thin line that is running right here. It provides you some insights. Again, you can utilize the on your iPhone or your Android device a tool called CQ for you. Let me think that I have it on my system. CQ for you. This is a demo mode, by the way, but this is where you can, for example, change your vocals or your rhythm track or your lead guitar by having 4 different buttons that you can just change, so that you can have your own mix as an artist in your in-ear. You can have up to 6 of those CQ for you apps running at the same time, connecting to the system, and up to 2 CQ mix pads. And yeah, I can not show you it's connected due to the way that it's set up at the moment, but I can show you the demo, which is basically the same thing. Let's open up the CQ mode and then show you my screen. There you go. So this is the CQ demo. I'm just going to put it on demo mode. And this is basically everything that you've seen so far on the device itself. But then on your, in this particular instance, on a Windows computer. And it basically acts 100% the same. So you can go to your configuration. You can select all of the different units. You can give it a name. You can give the library. You can set up auto set. You can set auto gain. You can go to your outputs. You can change your SD cards, your AMM. You can change your network. You can change processing, faders, effects. This is a little bit different because here you can see the effects here as well, which is not on the other screen. But this is the only screen that is a little bit different. And this is where you have the quick start as well. And of course, you'll have the possibility when you're connected to the unit to check the library as well. So, and really the same setup, and you can just use that with your Android device or your Windows device or your Mac device. So that is roughly everything that it can do, which I think is quite a lot for a mixer. I think it doesn't really matter if you use the 12T or 18T. Both of them are, in my opinion, both of them best in class. As I said earlier on in this show, the 20B, the stage box, I don't really like that much due to the fact that you don't have a screen, and it becomes a little bit iffy because of that. But this is really, really a cool setup, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. So let's check that out. Let's go here and check out what you guys have been saying. MT said, oh, wait a sec, I went wrong. Why is it not? It's not working anymore. Okay, my for some reason the comments are not working. Let me check. Maybe that's my bad. But let me refresh it a little bit. Maybe that helps. That's awkward. Okay, well it's not working, so I'll read your comments on my computer. MT says, I guess the mixer could also replay music from the USB and SD card. Yes, it can, and of course will happen on the SD card or the USB card. USB A stereo, and SD card multi-track, or USB via your DAW. DJ says that's impressive. All the features that on the outboard mixer and the DAW. Yes. Eric says it's amazing how many combined functions there are. That it's definitely is. It's really a lot. Almost forgot to hit the like. Oh, you should hit the like and subscribe if you have not done that yet. Indeed. Roland says, are there any workarounds on countermeasures you have to employ because of missing features, or is it a neat product mixer? Oh, definitely there are some workaround. There are some issues that are there. Though of course I'm not using it for not always using it for band mixes. So I do still like my QU16 more for band mixing because I have all faders at the same time that I can use. On the screen that you see in front, that you saw the last couple of minutes, you can have up to 4 fingers that it will act upon, but more than that, no. Which is still for me good enough for speech. But once you have the nitty gritty of music, I'd rather have physical faders, in my opinion. But on the other hand, if you look at the size of this unit, I mean, this is a really nice size mixer for a video production, in my humble opinion. What it does fail to have at the moment, in my opinion, is really the possibility to actually connect to a stage box. So there will not be a stage box on this range, on the CQ range. That's by design. They don't want. This is an all-in-one device. It's also meant to be a all-in-one device at all times. If you want to have the possibility to go with stage boxes, then you have to go to the QU and up, which is kind of understandable. On the other hand, it's a little bit of a bummer. So it's not meant for that. What I also think, and what I think that would be better, is that if I would be able to have a little bit more influences on the mixes between the auxiliary outputs. It's really close of perfection, so I don't think it's bad, but I wanted to have a little bit more possibilities. Like I said, the Bluetooth functionality is not that great yet at the moment. Still a bit iffy. The possibility to combine it via companion is not there yet. Again, it's a new machine, a new product. That will come. I'm pretty sure it will come. I'm not worried about that. And I think that it will be here before you even know it. I think by March this year, in 2 months from now, it's gonna be there. I'm pretty sure because I have noticed that a lot of people have been asking Allen and Heath to make it possible for AV installation, and then you need to have this kind of automation. Um, think that those are the ones that I have some workarounds with, but that's it. That's it. I think it's really good. It's really good. Neil says with the AMM, this is a very complete mixer, and for 1050 euros, around 800 cheaper than the Yamaha mixer. Yes. So the 18T is 1050 euros indeed. The 12T is only 800 euros. So that might be so for a lot of people enough. I mean, if you have 10 inputs and 6 outputs, it's quite a lot. And I have to admit that I was really struggling between the two. And when I'm struggling, typically I just take the bigger one just to, because yeah, it's helpful. Again, what is the changes between the 12T and the 18T? 10 inputs compared to 16 inputs. No rotary knobs, no Wi-Fi connectivity possible, and not 4 FX engines that you can do at once, but only 2. In my opinion, that's great. So 800, 1050, that's it. The Yamaha DM3, I really like, by the way. I think it's a really good mixer. And as a matter of fact, if Allen Heath would create a CQ with faders like the DM3, I think that would be a killer, in my opinion. But that's me. Yeah, so indeed, the Yamaha, like Niels is saying, the Yamaha comes with a few faders, 8 faders plus 1, and I think it's really good. I do think that the screen is a bit convoluted, and that's where Allen Heath shines. It makes it simple. Apart from if you have the quick fire, like I just saw. So if there's one thing that I'm a bit like, okay, everything that you see so far is beautiful, right? It's very minimalistic. It's really nice. I can easily see it, but as soon as I hit quick fire, it becomes a little bit complex. But that's on purpose, right? So that's okay. If that's the only reason why it's a bit of a mess, then that's okay with me. Neil says the interface is very reminiscent of the bigger units like the Aventus. Yes, yes. So okay, so let's talk about my my dream mixer would be like. Well, you're looking at it. It's almost perfect. The only thing that it should have is 8 faders plus 1 output below this unit, and the possibility to have these, and then still, all of these lines are corresponding with where the faders are. So, of course, this is a little bit small, so I think that the screen should be one inch bigger than it is at the moment. And it should have the possibility to have a stage box with the exact same amount of channels. It doesn't have to be more. So that would be perfect. But this is really close to being perfect already. Eric says, I guess that physical faders are always an advantage, and leveraging VST plugins, especially licensed ones, will be an advantage. Absolutely. So yeah, that's roughly what I wanted to talk about today on this unit. Tell me what you guys think about it. Is it something that you might be interested in checking it out? Let me know. I will be using this unit the coming week 2 times. One time on Friday, this coming Friday, at the theater. As a matter of fact, that reminds me that of course I'll need to make sure that everything is back to normal. So let's see. This looks a bit awkward. So let's go back to the home. Let's go back to data. Let's recall this show. Boom. And then if I go back to processing, everything is back to normal, the way that I would like to have it. So that's perfect. I'm going back to home, really to home, and I'm going to hit shutdown. I'm going to shut down the mixer to continue. Yes. Boom. It's now safe to turn off your mixer. Boom. That's it. So now I am going to use this mixer this coming Friday at the theater with a ATEM Mini. Wait for it. Ah! With the ATEM SDI Extreme, and with the cable that I'm going to use is that I'm going to use the auxiliary out on one end and a mini jack on the other hand to bring it into the microphone inputs on the unit right there, microphone 1, which you can set to not being a microphone input but a line input. And then I'm going to set the delay a little bit. And next to that, that's one thing that I'm going to use. Also, of course, the Burdock PTZ optics, the Burdock cameras will be used. And I will be also using the Hyperdeck shuttle as an additional backup copy because I'm also going to use, of course, the ISO recording that is built into the Extreme as well. So that is something that I will be using 2 times. One time with the ATEM SDI and one time with the old trustworthy HDMI version of the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. And I am really pumped to see how things will be going. I am really sure that it's going to be, well, awesome. Of course, I will be recording everywhere that I can. So I will be recording the audio on this device. I will be recording on the Extreme via an external drive and also on the Hyperdeck. So I think basically I should be okay to bring that value. On Saturday, so that's on Friday on the theater. On Saturday, I will do the same thing, but then with a smaller setup with the HDMI version and with only HDMI connections to the cameras. So everything is way closer than normal. Reasoning behind that is that I only have 1 hour to build things, and that with long 50 meter SDI cables, that will not cut it. So it needs to be fast. That also means that this coming Saturday you won't see any taekwondo, but I will see you 1 week later, to say the least. Next week on Saturday, there's another thing that's really cool, is that I will be the proud owner of the new kitten, Robin, who will be joining us together with my dad in his forever home. So this coming Saturday again will be. We have to skip something. Sorry, but I think that you can explain. I can explain why. Of course, I will be creating footage of this unit being used so that you will get a little bit more information on how you can use it moving forward. And in early February, we're also going to use it at least 2 times more in even bigger production with the real 2ME switcher, with the whole shebang, because there's going to be a big show coming on location as well. A lot to be talking about the coming few weeks. Let me verify if I had all the questions very quickly. To assign, Anthony asks, to assign something for a specific output, you are able to create a mix minus and send it out to PC and guest. Yes, I think that I can say yes to that. Yeah. The interface is very reminiscent of a bigger unit like the Advantage. Yes, I said that, or we already said that. Did I understand it right that the QU4U will broadcast the audio to an in-ear transmitter? No. The app is only being used to provide you the possibility as an artist to set the mix that you want. So, for example, you want to have a little bit more drums, you you want to have more vocals, etc. But you still have to have a one, in this case, physical connection from the unit itself to your in-ears. So that's a physical wire, to say that. More of a competition now to the device like RPG Symphony. I think so, yeah. Glad to see that the UI and it seems a little more straightforward than compared to Behringer's. I would seek out Allen Heath definitely based on the UI. Eric says, yes, the UI is definitely way better than Behringer does. Sorry for Behringer people. I'm not saying that the unit is bad on Behringer, but it's quite difficult to understand. Neil says always look forward to a gig report. Okay, we'll definitely do that. A gig report. Well, that's all that we had in store for you today. I hope that indeed you liked it. Again, next week I will skip the video due to the fact that well, we have a gig in the evening, and during the day we also have to go about 200 kilometers to get a kitten. So a lot to do on that day, and but that I'm not complaining at all. I'm really looking forward to that. That's all that I had in store for you today. I think that my cat is not coming, so otherwise, if my cat is coming, you will see him after the fact. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.